Hello everybody, good evening. Hello Sus, nice for popping in. How is everybody tonight? How is the weather at your place? It's an absolute nightmare here. So tonight we have a little fun project. It's no furniture, it's more a decoration thing, and it's basically some recycling again, because I think I've mentioned before that I hate wasting. So I prepared some tins to do a project with tins with you. For those who don't know me, my name is Angela Bailey. I am the owner and creative energy of Elfen Helden. I am located nearby Frankfurt in Germany. And I'm a premier Dixie Bell retailer also. Those are the paints we're using for this project tonight. And what I have planned is basically what you're going to need is some tins, whatever size you want to have them. Those are some pretty big tins in Germany. For my friends over here, it's probably the easiest if you go to a restaurant or something like that. They usually have those bigger tins. I think my friends in America, this is about the size of your coffee tins, I heard from somebody else, but I'm not quite sure. Anyhow, I'm sure your restaurants will have something like that also. Otherwise, you can also use whatever your tins from dog food or cat food or whatever. See, there's some small ones here. Oh yeah, something like that. You can do those projects basically with everything you wanna do. And I'm going to use some bigger tins because I've planned on putting in some bigger plants in there. They're going to be some flower pots. We're also going to need some molds. I'm using from IOD, Rhinestonedesigns, from Josie and Sally, those sisters. They do beautiful molds, and I'm going to use the big angel tonight. Hallo mein Hase. I'm going to use this laurel wreath. This is what I'm going to use. And I'm also going to use this for a framing on top of the tins. I'm going to use this for the second tin for the framing. And we're going to use the fleur-de-lis because I love fleur-de-lis. You can do a lot of things with those. They're really beautiful. We are going to need some modeling material. Tonight I'm using the modeling material from Redesign with Prima, which is camera, please. Focus. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? I think it's just too bright. You can see probably there. Well, this is the modeling material from Redesign with Prima. It's absolutely beautiful, and you can work it really, really easy with those molds. And when we have time to paint, we are using the cotton in white from Dixie Belle Paint, and we're using a nice grey, the Mason-Dixon grey, which is this color, and we're going to finish it off with some gilding waxes. Where have I put it? I'm not sure yet. I love copper, I love rose gold. Those are from Redesigners Prima also. I'm going to see which ones I'm going to use. I'm not quite sure. We're going to need brushes, obviously, for each color. We're going to have a separate brush. I don't know which one I see on the project, which ones I'm going to use. I just got enough brushes here. We're going to need some glue to glue the molds onto the tins then. I've got the E6000, which is like a really good craft glue. That holds really well. And maybe I'm going to use some Dixie dirt. I'm not quite sure yet. I will decide on the fly, basically. So when you pop in, just let me know where you're from and where you're watching from, and if you maybe have done a project like this also before, and if you maybe already have used Dixie Belle paint and what you think of those paints. And my cat wants to craft also. Yeah, and just let me know where you're from and say hello to me, that I know that you're there, and I highly appreciate you watching me, and I would say just let's get started. I shall bring the camera down so that you can see what I am basically doing here. So I can't basically see any comments anymore because I don't know why there are no comments on my iPad, but however, I'm just gonna put you down, so hang on, that you can see. I think, can you see like this? Any thumbs up, or yes or no, or I think that's okay. And I forgot something, which is my gloves tonight, because I'm using this glue, and I'm already having a plaster again. I burnt myself yesterday, so I don't want to have anything getting into that. Hang on, I'll be right back. Yeah. Sorry. So the first thing I'm going to do is, sorry my head is not in, but it's more important that you see what I'm doing, and not what I'm looking like. So let's see. I shall start with this tin. Basically what I've done with those tins before, what you have to check on is when they take the lid off, there might be some sharp edges and corners and stuff like that. So we've basically taken them down, and we try to do that with, I don't know what's it called in English, with in German it's a flex. We went around it. But I've basically found out that the easiest way to do it is to use some pliers, and you can go around it and you can push those edges down just like this, so that they don't peek out anymore. And that worked really well. And after that, because of obviously like the surface was like taken off from the flex, I've used some I don't know what's it called in English, bloody hell. It's basically a paint you can put right on top of rust. I don't mind if they rust from the outside. That gives character to the whole project afterwards, but I don't want to have rust inside. Obviously, when there are some plants in there and you want to water them, we don't want them to stand in the rust. So I put some spray paint on that, which also on top sealed those edges off in there, so they're nice and they're not sharp anymore. So what we're going to do now, first before we put anything on there, I'm not going to, if you worried about paint sticking or something like that, you could put some slick stick on there. This is a very difficult word, Dixie Belle, for a German person. Slick stick, which is from Dixie Belle, a ground paint you can put on slick surfaces like glass or metal or something like that, so that the paint adheres better to the project. But as I said, those tints, if the paint gets off a little bit or something like that, this just gives character to the piece, so I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to use some slick stick. But what I'm going to do is I'm cleaning the tin. I'm going to prepare 2, and I'm just using some denaturated alcohol, which is in German Spiritus, just to get any grease and stuff like that off. And nein, das kommt jetzt nicht auf den Tisch. This is 1. This is number 2. Ja, Schätzelein, wo willst du denn jetzt hin? Hm? Yeah, come here. Hang on, just gotta sort my cat out. There you go. Yep. Okay. So, get those nice and clean. That's it. And then we start with our molds. So, the modeling material from Rhinestonedesigns Prima is absolutely lovely, because you can usually it's like it's pretty tough to get it out in one piece from the molds, and they actually come in this box, and they're in those in like those little cylinders. I'll just show you. That's what it looks like. So they're already in portions, which is nice in this bag. But what's you're not using, you just put it back in. And I also put the stuff I'm using just back in one of those Ziploc bags, that it just keeps moist and doesn't dry out. So the first one is going to be a big one. And I'm going to do an angel. Do you like angels? I love angels. And there's this beautiful big angel here, and this is the one I'm going to use. And you can see there's already some stuff in there. Those molds they're made of silicone. They're very flexible, and they are dishwasher safe. And they are food safe. Obviously you won't use them, you don't want to use them for food when you use them for crafts, but apart from that you can also use them for food. So I'm just getting the mold material a little soft. Then I'm just gonna squash it in there. I'm just gonna get up for that. I'm just gonna squash it in there. And I've discovered, especially for the bigger mold projects, a nice, it's like a roller pin for craft objects. It's like an acrylic roller pin, and you can really nicely squash it in there and get the material nice and even in the mold. And this, what I'm doing here now, it's pretty difficult to do with normal molding material or clay, paper clay or something like that, because if it's too wet, and most of the time it is too wet, and you can believe me, I've tried loads of paper clay. I've really tried loads of paper clay. And most of the things, they just don't work. That's they stick to the mold, and it's really difficult to get them out. Either they stick to the mold, or they're so rock hard from the beginning on that you can hardly move the stuff. So this is really a pain. But this stuff, you see, just roll it in. It's just beautiful to work with. So you would think I'm always also a good baker the way I'm doing that, but I'm not. I think I need some more. This is big, this angel. Close the lid. Take some more on there. Roll it out. If you're not using, put it back on the big lump so it doesn't dry separate. So you can get it nicely into this mold. And then you get the edges off a bit, just to clean it up. Oh, I don't really mind because we're going to stick it on the tin anyway. So that's it. That's the angel. So what you do then, you just turn it around, flat down, and then you just roll the mold back. And you can see this molding material, this molding material just pops out beautifully. That's it. There's our big angel. Look at that. What do you think? Is that beautiful? That's absolutely gorgeous. I love that. So I'll put that to the side for now because I'm going to glue on everything at once. It's easier and the tin is open. So also on this one with the angel, I'm going to use this one at the bottom here to go around at the top and at the bottom of the tin. So I'm going to do a couple of those. So the molding material takes a while to dry, so it's still going to be maneuverable when I'm finished with the other things here. So just squash it in there. And I'm just taking the excess off, that there's not too much. Just go over it with your finger. Take the excess off. You can squash it in like that also. See, that works beautiful. If you just go over it with your thumb, you can take the excess off. But I always like to use my roller pin, this little one, because then I'm sure it's really pushed into the mold. And just do it like this. And you can see in this one they've got this micro rim on the side, so you can really separate your mold beautifully, so you don't have those edges on the outside of your mold. And again, same thing with this one. You turn it around, you twist it, and you see this material just pops right out. So one,
Don't know how many we're gonna need. I'm just gonna do about 6 of those for the first one. So I do like a little sausage. This is like when you're a kid playing with Play-Doh. Push it in here. And this works so well, this thing. Just push it through. And the character of paper clay is basically, when it dries, it tends to crack, which also gives the piece like a vintagey character. Just turn it around and let it pop out. Number 2. And you can also use what's it called in English? I'll tell you in a minute. Just lost the word. Brain. Too many things in at the moment. Anyhow, you can, this dries, when it dries it tends to crack, but you can still, like when it's dry, like fill the cracks with a little bit more of this material if you want to. Or you want to keep the vintagey character and you just leave it like that. So, push it nicely in there. It. You can see with this trim around here on those corners, it nicely separates the mold from the outside. You don't have like this, which is outside there hanging on the thing. So it's nice and clean edges. It's got nice and clean edges. Turn it around. Reuse that, and then you just pop it out. And guys, I was really, you know, when I started with those things, I was trying paper clay after paper clay after paper clay, and it really was driving me nuts because it stuck to the mold. You couldn't get it out. It was too wet. You just couldn't maneuver it properly. You know, and this you can just like, you know, you can touch it without ruining it straight away, which is a very nice thing, especially when we glue it on in a minute. You see, especially then, what I mean. So, how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. 6, I think. And the other thing is, this stuff basically comes from America. I will have it up in my shop also, so if you're interested in those products, you can find them there also. And those are obviously, you know, those molds, you can use them, reuse them hundreds and hundreds of times. You know, they last really long. It's silicone, and it's just not, they're timeless. Just turn it around, pop it out. That's it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more, and you see, I'm working with tonight with 4 different molds. They all have like different elements on them, and you can combine them however you want to, which is a nice thing also. So there's like, you can do hundreds of different projects. You don't have to use just like them all together from one mold. You can basically reuse them and use them, combine them with each other. for different looks. Take this off, just roll it over there so it's nice and flat. It's always good if you have like a flat backing when you glue it onto something. Take this off the side here, because this you can always reuse unless it's not dried out. Turn around, pop it out. That's it. One more, and then we do the prepared one for the second one. So, squeaky squeak. Put it in. Squash it through. And there we go. Take like the main excess off. So you don't need to push it into the ones to the side there. So you've done that. You use your roller, you go over it. As I said, this one I found from in a craft shop, basically. I thought it was a great idea. It's got a perfect size, you can clean it easy. Also those molds, you can clean them very easy. As I said, there's silicone, the stuff doesn't stick to it. So, no. The other material you can use for doing the molds is resin. Just didn't come to me. 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, that's fine. Done with those. Then on the second tin, I'm also going to use those ones and the fleur de lis, and as a trimming, yes, the fleur de lis, which is this one, and for the trimming I'm going to use this part and those laurel leaves on the outside as a surrounding. So I'm just gonna do that. Just push it in there. So yeah, also you can see with this trimming, get a nice sharp edge, which is good. So you don't need to clean it up too much, and I mean, you don't mind it being a bit irregular, because you don't want to have, if you do like a vintagey style, you don't mind, but still it's gonna crack anyway, because that's what this material does. And as I said before, when you want to have it not cracking or something like that, you can use resin. But with resin, it's gonna take a while till it's dry. So you couldn't do, unless you have like 5 or 6 molds from the same, which is, well, I think that's probably too expensive. Here again, you turn it around, and then, oh, some cracking there already. Doesn't matter. And you can just pop it out and just roll it back. Just roll it back, and it comes out nicely. And you can see those beautiful details in those molds. So, okay, put those to the side also. And you see, it's just like cracking here, but it doesn't matter, because you're gonna glue it on anyway, and it's gonna be fine. So when you're just popping on, we're doing tonight some tin recycling. I've got some big tins from a restaurant, which were basically for free, and I am using them, or I want to transform them into some cute flower pots. And I'm going to use some molds from IOD, Iron Orchid Designs, which are two sisters, and they do beautiful things. They have molds and they have transfers and stuff like that, so really nice things. So tonight we're doing the tins with some molds from them. There's loads of things you can do with tins. This is just like one idea I'm showing you tonight. I will see how many tins I have left. I may do another live with those and show you another possibility. The stems or something like that. Just take it off. See, with those edges on here, you can really clean the edges of the mold. Push it in there, it's nice and flat. Turn it around, pop it out. That's it, and it comes out just nicely. As I said, I've been using loads of paper clays before and it was just a nightmare. You see, it comes out beautifully and you can see all the details and stuff like that. And if you are using normal paper clay, what you can do is use some starch, cornstarch. Just use a little cornstarch and just put it into the mold, and you can try it like that. But especially with those detailed and those bigger ones, you're not gonna get them out that clean and that nice like the modeling material from Redesign with Prima, which is this stuff. And you can get that also in my shop. I put that link in for it later. In the middle, I'm going to put, of this laurel wreath, I'm going to put this big fleur de lis. Can just squish it up a little bit to get it, you just squash it in. You can use your fingers all over it's easy also, but I really like it with this rolling pin because you can really put some pressure on there, and that's it. It's perfect for Christmas. It's like cookie making, which I haven't done for ages, really. Or rather craft and make cookies. Who else? Who else? Or is there anybody here who loves baking? Obviously when you have kids, you do a lot of baking, Christmas cookies and stuff like that, because kids love that. Get it off those edges. Don't want to have that dried in because I want to reuse that material. It's like every little bit is precious. That's it. Again, turn it around and it pops right out. That's it. There we have the fleur-de-lis. So there it is. Okay. And then we do the trimming, and then we start gluing it onto the, just put it to the side. Don't need that anymore. And for the trimming, I'm using this part down here for the second tin. And I'm just squashing it in there. That's it. So and this one is so tiny. I can do that. If I run my, you see, just my thumb over it, I can push it right out. My thumb is just big enough for this thing. And again here, turn it around. Oops. And you get it out. You roll the mold back and it pops right out. There you go. There's number one. I've got to get some more material, I think, in a minute to see if that's gonna last. So squash it in there. Nicely. Run your finger over it. Just squash it in with your thumb. Nice and easy. And that's it. Excess off, turn it around, roll it back. Two. And then we do three. Just do 6 of those and I see how many I'm going to need. You can also just like do a sausage. It's easier than also put it in there, squash it through. So, it's neat. So, obviously it's like loads of things you can do with those molds. Maybe those tin projects are not the perfect project if you work with kids, but you can do loads of other things like pictures or decorate picture frames with it. And you can do that with your kids also, because they love playing this Play-Doh, and that's basically what it is. So you're becoming a child again. Number 3. I think it's gonna just about last. Number 4. Squish it in there. Run your finger over it. It's like this micro rim on those sides. You can see how nice and clean it comes out. Turn it around. Pop it out. That's it. Number 4. Little sausage. Number 5. So 5. Run your thumb over it. That's it. Get the excess off. And then turn it around. So just roll it back and you see that drops nicely out. So that's it. The 3, 4, 5. One more. I think that's gonna be enough to put on the outside. So. Take the excess off. Just run your thumb over it. It and 6 should be enough. So roll it back, get it out nicely. That's it. 6 of those. Okay, so the rest of this material I'm going to put back into a Ziploc bag so it doesn't dry out. And it's going back into the bucket where it comes from. So put it to the side for now. So as I said, this modeling material, it's got put the thing at the back. This modeling material, when it dries, it's going to crack a little bit, which is like giving the piece some vintagey character. This is the angel we've done first. You see it's still nice and maneuverable, so we're going to put it on top of the tin. We're just gonna glue it on. So just gonna get the glue. And this modeling material, the nice thing is it's not so sensitive. It's still manageable. You can maneuver it around, but you're not ruining the details straight away when you touch it. Hi Inka. Na, Süße, wie geht's dir? Alles gut? Hm? Yeah, so look at this angel. That's cute, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So those are some tins, Inka, I just got from a restaurant because they use obviously bigger tins, and I've just got that, and I've taken the just cleaned the inside of that. There's no sharp edges. Hey. So it's got no sharp edges, and put some sealer on there, some rust sealer, so it doesn't the rust doesn't bleed through to the inside, because I've planned on doing some flower pots out of those. So, and I'm going to put that on the middle there. Let's see. Baby wipe. And some glue. So I'm using the E6000, which is really like a craft industrial glue. It's just something in between. Just put it on there nice and rich. And that's the reason I'm wearing gloves at the moment. This modeling material, that's not the problem. Because the modeling material, it doesn't smell. It's basically almost like a paper clay material, but it's not so wet, and it's much easier to use in the molds. And the mold themselves, they are food safe. Obviously not anymore after I've used them for crafting. Put the seam of the tin to the back, and I'm going to put the angel on the front, in the middle, just like this. You want to have it right at the bottom. Turn it around that you can see the angel a little better. Ja, genau, mein Schatz. Da fällt dir der Kleber ein. Aber hierfür brauche ich diesen Holzkleber noch nicht. Die Sachen sind leider noch nicht da von Would You Band. Aber vielleicht habt ihr ja auch sowas, wo man sowas gescheit mitkleben kann. Das ist auch gut. And you see, I can still, I can press it down and I'm still keeping the details in those molds. I just push it right down that it goes into the cracks and it adheres well to the tin. There's no gaps. So, obviously sometimes you have to use some stuff which is like not, this glue, it has to stick to metal, so that's not exactly like very nice smelling stuff. So make sure that you're using glue like this in a well ventilated room. I've got the windows open in here. So got the angel on for now. And then I am going to put the trimming on and start like this on the top here. This way around or this way around? I think I'm going to start this way around at the front. I like that better. Just like this on both sides. So I'm going to glue. How many I'm going to need? I'm going to put some on the top and some on the bottom. And with those I'm not worried about spreading it out, because when I squash it on there, it's going to be spread it out itself, spreading out itself. Ta-dam, ta-dam. And you can also, I'm going to leave I'm going to put some glue on the end of some of the things, because you can, what I'm going to show you in a minute, you can basically use those in a way. So now let's start. This goes around like this. So careful. Obviously you don't want to squash it into something, but when it just leans on, you won't harm the mold. You see, you can really push it down like gentle, but enough to get it adhered to the surface you want to put it at. And what I'm going to do now, because I want to have it like right nicely in there, so I am going to find my knife. There it is, which is like this. I'm just gonna cut this off like this end leaf, and then you can push it right against it. And when you put some paint over it at the end, you won't notice. Dankeschön, Inka. Ja, das habe ich irgendwie noch im Kopf gehabt, dass du Engel magst, ja. Mhm. Ja. So, auf der anderen Seite fangen wir auch mal an. Let's also start from the front. And here I'm going to put it like this. And see that it's like almost starting at the same spot. Put it around. And there you go. So then we only have like we do the bottom first, and then we see what's left over, so we can fill in the gaps to the end. Just Just make sure it's nice on there. Let's see. There's the glue coming out to the side, so you don't need to spread it out on those small things, and it's gonna kind of do it basically itself. Get the excess glue off if you want to. Otherwise you won't see it anyway when there's paint on later. If you have any questions, guys, just leave them in the comments. I will answer them basically later because I can't really see. You know, I'm blind as a bat. So let's do the bottom. Start basically also just like this. Just gonna get some glue in the front. Move it up. Some nice trimming around. So, the only reason I'm wearing gloves at the moment is because of the glue, and because I've managed to burn my thumb yesterday. Nice and rich. I'm really, it's like either I'm running against something, I'm bruised all over, or I don't know. Yesterday I was burning myself, so obviously I don't want to have anything getting into that because it's an open wound. I've done that really well. Inka, das ist ein Modeling Material von Prima Marketing. Kamera, da kommt's, von Prima Marketing. Und ja, das ist so eine Mischung aus Paperclay und Ton, also so ein Tonmaterial, aber das ist unheimlich, ja, du kannst es unheimlich gut verarbeiten und das ist auch nicht so klebrig. Ja. Also das geht gut in diese Form rein und halt wunderbar raus. Normalerweise kriegst du das überhaupt nicht raus. Ich habe schon 1000 verschiedene Arten von Ton und Kram ausprobiert und ich bin echt fast verzweifelt, weil das immer eine Riesensauerei ist. Und wenn du dann Stärke oder so Mehl, weißt du, so Cornstarch da reinmachst in die Form, da geht es dann ein bisschen besser. Aber dann ist das Material meistens so feucht, dass du das überhaupt nicht richtig anfassen kannst und immer erstmal warten musst, bis du es überhaupt weiter verarbeiten kannst und so weiter. Und das ist halt, wenn du solche Geschichten machst, so wie ich, dann hast du einfach wenig Zeit. Und ich finde das immer total anstrengend, wenn du dann immer ewig warten musst, bis man da weitermachen kann. So, ich brauche aber noch eins von den Dingern. So, und da tun wir uns wieder das eine Blatt hier wegschnibbeln. So, und dann passt das nämlich hier ran. Jetzt müssen wir uns aber doch noch eins machen, weil jetzt fehlt uns noch. So, dann siehst du, ich weiß nicht, hast du, glaube ich, gerade eben nicht gesehen, Inka, ne? Dann siehst du nochmal, wie das verarbeitet wird. Das geht nämlich echt wunderbar. Und das ist wie eine Knetmasse. Und das ist halt auch total umweltfreundliches Zeug, ne? Also ich meine, essen sollst du es jetzt natürlich nicht, aber das riecht auch nicht und greift auch die Haut nicht an oder wie auch immer. Also das ist wirklich ein ganz tolles Zeug. Das Einzige, was hier stinkt im Augenblick, ist der Kleber, weil ich das halt auf die auf die Metalldose draufkleben will und da muss es halt halten. So, und das wird einfach jetzt hier reingequetscht und diese Silikon-Molds, die haben hier so ein Trimming an der Seite, da siehst du schon, da kann man richtig schön sauber die Molds rausholen. Und ich habe hier so ein, ja, wie so ein Nudelholz aus der Crafting-Abteilung und damit kannst du das richtig schön dann nochmal richtig rein quetschen mit Kraft in diese Molds, dass auch wirklich die Details dann rauskommen. So. Ist nett. Und dann tust du das einfach umdrehen. Diese Molds sind aus Silikon und dann siehst du, dann fällt es einfach ja regelrecht da raus. Das war es schon gewesen. Und das ist echt klasse. Und du hast die ganzen Details drin. Na. So. Mal gucken, wie viel wir hier noch brauchen. So. Dann machen wir jetzt im Prinzip das Gleiche, dass wir das da dran passen können. Zap, zap. Wird es einfach geschnitten und dann passt sich das hier rein. Ein bisschen Kleber drauf. Und die kannst du auf alles Mögliche kleben. Die kannst du auf Holz kleben, auf Metall. Den Kleber musst du bei denen halt entsprechend logischerweise dem Untergrund wählen. So, und dann sieht man auch nicht, dass es hier an der Stelle zusammengestückelt ist. Mhm. Da muss man dann schon sehr genau hingucken. Und dasselbe machen wir hier unten. Da reicht es, wenn wir noch das Stück hier haben. Kleber drauf. Und auch wenn ich das jetzt hier auf der einen Seite so liegen habe, ist das nicht gleich komplett ruiniert. Wenn du eine normale Paperclay verwendest, das ist immer sofort angedetscht. Also das fand ich immer extrem nervig. Da musstest du echt umgehen wie mit einem rohen Ei. Ist dir sofort immer dein Projekt ruiniert. Auch wenn du das dann so nochmal extra andrücken wolltest. Ich meine, klar, kannst du jetzt auch nicht mit voller Gewalt da drauf drücken, aber zumindest so, dass du die Ecken schön an der Dose praktisch festmachst. So. Das ist die eine. Und dann tun wir noch die andere vorbereiten. Die schaut jetzt schon mal so aus. Da haben wir den Engel. Irgendwie ist die Kamera. Naja, ich muss weiter weggehen. So, da ist der Engel und das Trimming oben und unten, was dann halt komplett rumgeht. Und das wird dann halt noch angemalt. Dann tun wir die mal an die Seite. Und dann machen wir noch die zweite schnell. Schon eine Stunde dabei. Das ist im Prinzip das Gleiche. Da haben wir jetzt gesagt, da wollen wir den Kranz. So, die ist mir jetzt auseinandergebrochen. Aber auch das macht nichts. Muss ich mal gucken, wie rum die waren. Das ist nicht weiter schlimm. Okay. Dann machen wir es nur so hinlegen, wie es zusammengehört. Kann man dann immer noch so ein bisschen zusammenwappen. Das funktioniert. Und wenn es nachher drauf ist und es wird ja eh bemalt, dann sieht man das eh nicht mehr. So, dann fangen wir jetzt aber mal an mit der... Und das braucht aber einen Moment, bis es getrocknet ist. Deswegen konnte ich das alles jetzt erstmal gut vorbereiten und dass wir jetzt halt erst anfangen mit dem Kleber zu arbeiten. Glue on. So. That's that for now. Excuse fingers. Mit den Fingern kann man es dann immer noch am besten verteilen. It's always the easiest to spread it around with your fingers. So obviously when you're using a glue like that, it's the best when you're wearing gloves. That's the reason I've got those on at the moment. So here also the seam of the tin to the back. Where is it? There. Seam of the tin to the back, and then this one in the middle on the front. So, and yeah, that's fine. And the nice thing about those tins, with those lines on the tins, you can adjust your object nicely to there. There you go. Just push it down, that it's nicely on there. So. And if there are some gaps at the end when it dries, that's no problem. Also, you can always, because we're using this chalk mineral paint from Dixie Belle, which is a little thicker, you can fill like those gaps basically up, and then so then we have the laurel leaves. Nein, mein Schatz. Da ist jetzt mal nichts drauf verloren. Cats and glue, that's not a good combination. So, put that there, squash it down, nicely on there. I love those details in the things, it's so cute, really nice. Inside. And oh, okay. So now I've ruined that a little bit, but that's not such a big deal, as I said, because when there's paint at the end over it, it won't make any difference. See, you can hardly see. You can see, you cannot see any gaps. So, squash it nicely down. Get excess glue off there. Don't know if it's stuck too much on the project. I'm not worried about it too much because I like this cracking and rough finish at the end, so it's not perfect and it's like vintagey old and used. So there's this one on. And then we do the trimming on the top. Just do it around. And the painting we'll do, I think, either tomorrow or on Thursday. So trimming, which I already prepared also. Starting to get dry also already. Just dab it on there. Oops. Dab it on there. And so. Can maneuver that material for about, I reckon, would say about half an hour. And if you want to have it completely dry, you leave it overnight. And if there's some cracking, because it's gonna shrink when it dries, and it's going to crack a little bit, you can fill up the cracks with again with some of this material. Just push it nice down. So I'm going to put this around at the bottom. And you can do trimmings on picture frames with that, on just basically anything. Just like giving a cute touch to the project. Oops. And again, can cut this off. Squish it together so you won't see that it's not one piece. You see? You can't see. So do the same on top. No, I'll start here also. I don't want to have too much. I'm gonna put it like this. One, number two. There you go. If you have questions, just leave it in the comments. And if you popped on later, or if you watched the video in replay, just let me know that you watched it and where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Feel free to leave them either in English or in German, whatever suits you best. I'll come back on that later. Use this piece, which I basically cut off the end, and then I have one left. And I'm just going to need this much. Cut it off. Put this back into, should have done that before. Lazy me. So it's not drying out. The last bit of glue on there. So. And finished. Well, not finished. The first part is finished. Got those two prepared. We have one angel and we have one fleur-de-lis glued on. What do you think of that? The lamp is just too bright here. See if I can turn that down. So it's probably easier to see now. So we have, and the trimming goes all around. So you could basically paint on it straight away, but what I'm not going to do because I'm on here long enough for now. I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to show you the angel again. I really like the angel. That is so cute. There it is. There's that angel. That's so cute. It's big, and those are big tints, and the trimming goes right around on top, and okay, guys, thank you for popping in. I really appreciate that. I'm just gonna put it up so you can see me again. Here I am. Well, thanks for watching for this little craft project, and I will let you know when I'm going to continue those. Obviously there's going to go some paint on there. If you have some paint preferences and color wise, just leave it in the comments also. Maybe I do that then, so you can see how it turns out then at the end. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you are looking for the materials for this craft project, you can find them in my shop. Also the Dixie Belle paint, as I'm a primary retailer in Germany for Dixie Belle. So when you if you're looking for a local retailer, you can go to the webpage if there's a retailer in your area. Otherwise, in Germany and throughout Europe, I can ship, so you can contact me. I appreciate that, and otherwise just go and visit your local retailer for the paints and the supplies and stuff like that. Guys, I thank you so much for popping on, and danke Inka, das ist ganz süß. Vielen, vielen Dank. Ich wünsche euch auch noch einen schönen Abend. Ja? Und knuddel den Kleinen mal von mir. Ja? Also, bis dann. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye, guys. Bye.